it can't be like a sin. It can't be. It's like something super horrible for me to just eat meat on a Friday.
But the church says, at the very least, do this.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to a Short Journey podcast. My name is Antonio.
Hey, everybody. My name is Edwin.
And today we're going to have a little talk about common objections to abstinence and fasting during Lent, more specifically. Yeah. And what are some common objections to fasting or more specifically to abstinence? Because the church teaches that we shall abstain from meat on Fridays of Lent.
During Lent, yeah. And one of the biggest things that we always hear, or one of the biggest objections is, why? Why do you do that? Why abstain from meat on Fridays? Like, meat is it's not a sin. It's not a sin to eat meat.
No.
And
it's not.
And it's not. And they're correct. and to a certain extent, like.
But just the act.
Yeah, the act of eating meat is not a sin. The meat is not the sin. Is like going against what the kind of like what the church is teaching us, because there's a reason behind why we abstain from meat on Fridays during Lent. So someone will ask you, why do you abstain from meat? Why not eat meat during Lent? And a lot of times, me growing up, I was like, I don't know. So I would avoid that conversation. Like, I don't know. We just don't, But like, once you learn and you kind of like see the resemblance or see the symbolism behind it is, so the reason why we're giving up meat or we're giving up flesh, eating flesh, is because, Jesus gave up his flesh, when he died and he died on a Friday. And so he gave up his flesh for us. So we give up eating flesh in remembrance of that and remembering that God gave everything. So why don't we just give a little bit on a Friday?
Yeah. And then meat was also in times or old times, and from really always, meat is a symbol of celebration. So when the prodigal son came back, they killed the fattest calf. So it's in celebration to make a big party. I'm pretty sure for your wedding, for my wedding, we do a big celebration and we need meat because that sustains everybody. So that symbolism for celebration and festivities and a big feast.
Right.
But Fridays during Lent, are we celebrating anything? And
we're not. We're mourning, really.
Yeah. So if somebody's mourning a loved one that just passed away, like, you have no time to think about food, no time to think about sleep. So we're giving up that Friday to remember Jesus' death. So it's not just abstain from meat, but no, think about Jesus. Jesus was crucified for you, for us, for me, and to think about that and offer up this day of reflection of why it's important to sit back and take a view from the outside or from back and say, whoa, Jesus died on a Friday. I need to prepare for Good Friday, basically, during all the Fridays of Lent. So back then, it was every single Friday of the whole year, abstain from meat and fasting. Now it's, for us in the Roman Rite, it's only about eight days out of the whole year. So we can't do that,
Yeah, that's pretty crazy when you think of it that way. It's like, we can't just 8 days of, was it 365 days? So
or even out of all the Fridays, maybe 52.
Yeah, 52
out of 52 weeks.
Yeah.
But another common objection is kind of like, why give up meat, and if I can just replace it with something else, like let's say I'll give up chocolates instead. Is that a good substitute
for chocolate?
Meat?
No, because it's almost like it's not really. I mean, there's not really anything behind it. It's like you're trying to replace one thing for another, like one good deed for a bad deed. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
it doesn't work that way.
or is a lot of people try to substitute, oh, well, I'll eat meat because I want to eat meat, but I'll do a act of charity. Like I'll donate some cans to a canned food drive or something.
Right.
So it's kind of like you want to go around this rule that the Catholic Church has, and I'm guessing it. I mean, if you're a Catholic, you would follow Catholic rules, no?
Yeah, and there's this little explanation that I heard recently that it really explained it well. Like why? Like it can't be like a sin. It can't be. It's like something super horrible for me to just eat meat on a Friday. Like it should be fine if I do it. Like I know it's bad, but I'm gonna still do it. I mean, I'm not gonna die. Like, but the thing is, and in this apologetic, he explained it very, very well. And it was with a super simple analogy. He was talking about how, so let's say you're driving down the road, and you see a red light. You pass the red light. Red light obviously means you have to stop. Everybody knows that. A red light means stop. But you still go. Cop sees you, pulls you over. And then what are you going to say? Oh, I'm sorry. I saw that red light, but it's okay. It's not a traffic violation.
Yeah.
He's going to give you a ticket.
There wasn't no car.
Yeah, there wasn't no cars. No one was looking.
I didn't hit nobody.
Yeah, like everyone's okay. Like this was a red light. The cop is still going to give you an infraction for passing a red light.
Disobedience, really.
Disobedience. And that's what it is. It's the fact that eating the meat is not the sin, but being disobedient to a simple discipline that we're trying to remember Jesus through the act of being defiant against that is where the sin is. And just as like when you take that red light, you get an infraction, you get a speeding ticket or whatever with it, you get an infraction for a traffic violation, then the same way with churches is we're sinning because we're going against what the church teaches us, and we're not being disciplined enough.
Yeah.
So
if your mother says clean your room, and you say, you know what, I don't want to clean my room, I'm gonna just go replace that order with I don't know, being friendly with my brother. So I'm gonna go play with my brother, and then that room still stays dirty.
Yeah.
It does not change that order that your mom gave you. So therefore it's disobedience. So if the Catholic Church says you shall not eat meat on Fridays, then we have to partake on that, because that's what the discipline that they gave us is. It would be very different if you have to abstain from meat, you have to fast every Friday, and you can't go to work, and you can't let's say speak that day because you're going to speak against, I don't know, the Bible or something, or it's going to force you to read the Bible, or some other, it's not some big thing.
Yeah.
Just don't eat meat on Fridays. So it's a simple discipline that can lead you a long way. I know it's helped me since we were small. My parents would tell us to not eat meat on Fridays, but you kind of get used to that and apply it for your whole life. And then that same discipline, if you apply it with other things, then it's like, okay, now I'm gonna double it. So I'm not just gonna abstain from meat, I'm gonna abstain from milkshakes, and I'm gonna abstain from sweets, and I'm gonna abstain from snacks, and this is all on Friday. So it's not just that and that's it. You can go more, but the church says at the very least do this. Because if it's hard to eat, if it's hard to not eat meat on Fridays, then it's going to be way harder for you to pray. It's going to be way harder for you to say I'm sorry when you offended somebody. It's going to be way harder to go to mass, to wake up in the morning. It's going to be, everything's hard. But that discipline to, hey, let's at the very least do this. And from that discipline, you can continue to grow.
Because it's that discipline that applies in a lot of aspects of our lives, and we'll let's say I'm a avid gym goer, right? I go to the gym all the time, so I'm disciplined enough to wake up at 4 a.m. to get ready to go to the gym and do my exercise and lift my weights. But I'm not disciplined enough to just not eat meat on a Friday. So it's kind of like contradictory because so at that point you're not giving up something that maybe you like for your own benefit. It's like you have to let go and forget about yourself for a little bit and then point that towards God. I'm like, I'm giving this up for you today in remembrance of, you giving your life for me, and look at it that way and see apart from giving that up, what else can you do? Because this abstinence, like you're mentioning too, is also giving up things that are kind of veering us away from God. So let's say if I'm watching this series that talks only about murder and negativity and sin and things that are not Christ centered. Why not give that up? And instead of like that 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours that I sit there binge watching this, focus that 1, 2, 3 hours in maybe reading the Bible, like praying the rosary, even something as simple as having time with your family, because a lot of times we're so caught up in the day-to-day life and our devices and our tablets and our phones and we forget that interaction. So something as simple as giving that up, right? I'll give that up for me because that's my personal entertainment. Give that up, and then now I'm going to have time to speak with my wife. Now I'm going to be able to play with my kids. Because once you take that device away, your eyes open and, what's going on? You see people. You really see something that's going on around you. See who you can help. Maybe where you can help, feed the poor, clothe the naked, little things like that. And those little things are going to start, I would like to say, is like start cleaning your heart, your soul, and kind of taking away that stuff, that the negativity, and purifying yourself and getting closer to God. And because it's through those people that you help is where you're actually helping God.
Yeah, so that's good. And not everybody is kind of like obliged to follow abstinence and fasting because
there's exceptions. Yeah.
So from ages 14 and up, abstinence is a must for a Catholic. So Fridays in the Roman Rite, at least the Fridays of Lent, which is and Ash Wednesday. So it's about eight days that you have to abstain from meat. So no meat, that's a must. And then from ages 18 to 59, we must fast on Ash Wednesday and on Good Friday. So only 2 days. This is the very least, the very minimal.
Yeah.
And this is too much for some people, you know. But this is the very least. And whenever you're part of a group or organization or I don't know, a soccer team, like you want to do the most. You're like, okay, coach, I already did this. What else can I do?
You go above and beyond.
Yeah. So from this very least abstinence for 8 days and fasting for 2 days, you have to talk to God and say, God, I can do this. This is no problem. But what else can I do?
Yeah.
What else can I? How much more can I do? And don't look at it like, man, meat ain't nothing. Meat, I can eat meat whenever I want. Yeah. Chicken is not considered meat. Chicken is considered meat. All right. Yeah. You cannot eat meat. You cannot eat poultry or chicken or any type of bird either. All right. So it's more of that discipline. So don't look at it, because the church just came up with some random thing to give up. No, it's the discipline and the reasons why we said that we should abstain from meat.
Yeah. And that's all it is. And really, because if you look at it too, this doesn't only help you in your spiritual life, it also helps you in your personal life, because then you learn to be disciplined. You learn to be disciplined. If you learn to be disciplined in this, you can start applying that discipline in different aspects of your life. And maybe you need to organize your life. Maybe you need to pick all the broken pieces together, put them all together and move forward. That's all it is. It's going to help you. Like the practices that the church teaches us, it's not to restrict us. It's to actually help us and protect us from things that would otherwise hurt us. And when we start seeing it that way, we start really seeing the beauty behind it. So
Yeah. Because I know I've been told, like, man, you give up meat on Fridays. Like, what's good is that? Why don't you give up meat for a whole week or something? Like, yes. Like, that's the point. That why not go more? But and it's not just, oh, you're not doing enough. No, it's do this and then continue to grow off of that.
Yeah, expand on it.
I've had to explain it quite a bit this year.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you have any questions about abstinence, fasting, or why the Catholic Church does this, well, maybe rewatch the video or leave a question.
Yeah. Or if something was unclear, let us know. We'll definitely clear it up for you. And if we don't have an answer, we'll definitely get you the answer.
Yeah.
So just remember, guys, life is a short journey. So let's discipline ourselves. Let's discipline and get closer to God. And remember how he gave his life for us. And so we should just give a little bit of our lives for him.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome, guys.
Pax Bonum.